So the other day I was using my vise to hold some metal when I was pounding it, and it was super cold in here. And as you can see, it just became brittle and snapped. So I could either buy another decent bench vise, about a 5-inch, and that's for decent quality, better quality than cheap, is around $180 and up. Or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attempt to make a homemade 5-inch jaw bench vise. So here's my design here. As you can see, 3/4 inch rod for durability. And parts, I got this 3/4 inch all thread piece of threaded rod, 24 inches at Home Depot. I got some nuts, some washers, these coupling nuts for the threaded rod to thread into, and I got 2 of them to put next to each other, so the threaded rod has a lot of area to be threaded into. And I had to buy this drill bit because I don't have a 3/4 inch. The biggest I have is a 5/8. So this was $20 here, and the rest was $30. I also got this 1/2-inch piece of round stock that I'll be using as a handle, and it's pretty long because I use this stuff quite a bit. So I'm probably only gonna use not that much, but yeah. So metal to build this thing, I had a whole bunch of this stuff. This is 4-inch square tubing with a 1/4 inch wall, but over the years I kind of just welded stuff to it and cut pieces out. So this is the last nice piece I have of it, which is only 8.5 inches long, which means that this vise might only open 4 to 5 inches, which is kind of too bad, but I want to see how this thing turns out. If it turns out pretty well, then I might make a bigger one. And for the base and this whole collar around this piece, which will slide through, I got this 5-inch by 1/4 inch wall piece of flat stock. I bought 20 feet of this. It was only $80, so it's not too bad. As you can see, I got my 10-foot piece still right here untouched. So I'm making my way through it. So I'll use this for everything else, the base and the main part around and the jaws and everything. So that should make for a pretty strong setup. So, yep. Alright, so I got my plates set up here and clamped, so I'm gonna tack them and then go on from there. And I'm gonna be using the good old Lincoln AC 225, and I'm gonna be using some 6011 and some 7018 AC here. So yep, get it done. Here's the parts tacked in place, and now I'm working on the threaded part. So 1.5 inch tubing is almost the perfect spacer to get the threaded rod as center as possible on this tube. And unfortunately, this was the last piece I had. I kind of welded on it before, so I had to grind down the welds. It's a little bit bent. And it's only 1/8 inch. It's a little bit thin. So I think it's gonna be still really strong. You know, I wish it was more 3/16, but this should work. And just weld it in like that. And that should be pretty strong. And cut a notch in this for it to slide, and it'll be good. And there's some fire from the WD-40 in there. All right, so it's been about an hour since I welded it. It actually got stuck. This was completely seized in here. So what I had to do was I used this kind of notch, and I was able to hook it on this old bumper here on the highboy and pound and pound and pound probably for 30 minutes. Lots of WD-40, and it finally came off and it smashed my foot. So I thought I broke my toe, but it feels better now. But I've been grinding on it, trying to make the piece of square tube smaller, and I finally got it so it moves smoothly. That took a long time to do. So now I got that good. So I need to make the jaws and the threaded piece. So yep, I also did some grinding on these corners and took off some of the spatter on these wells. This was 7018 at 135 amps. So yep.